Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko claims the Wagner boss is in Russia, not in Belarus. It's been less than 2 weeks since Yevgeny Prigozhin led a short-lived rebellion against Russia.
This was the last we saw of Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin, leaving the Russian city of Rostov-on-Don after telling his men to call off their march on Moscow and apparently heading for exile in Belarus. But the man who brokered that deal, Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko, told a select bunch of journalists today that Prigozhin was still in Russia, all criminal cases dropped, all possessions returned. Even as photos of the contents of his St. Petersburg home, gold bars, wigs and all, flooded the internet. If he is still in Russia, do you see there any possibility of a rapprochement between Prigozhin and the Kremlin, or do you see ties there fundamentally severed?
Yesterday afternoon, I talked to him on the phone and we discussed what PMC Wagner was going to do. He told me one thing: we will work in the name of Russia, for the benefit of Russia, and we will be fulfilling our duty until the end in the way that it was agreed by certain organs of power. So he is free. What happens to him next? Well, things happen in life. But if you think that Putin is so malicious and vindictive and that he will, to say in plain Russian, whack him somewhere tomorrow, no. This will not happen.
As for these satellite images of a military camp not far from Minsk, rumoured to be under construction for the mercenaries' use, Mr. Lukashenko said he'd offered Wagner the facility and they'd said no, and there was still a lot to work out. The man who marched on Moscow walks free, and it's still not at all clear how and why he gets away with it. Diana Magnay, Sky News, Minsk, Belarus.